Hello friends, this is Utz with a short but informative video that's going to show you what it looks like from the survivor's point of view to have your perks revealed to them. If you're a survivor, obviously you want to pay attention to these cues to know what your killer is using, and if you're a killer, it's also really important to understand how and when your perks get revealed so that you know how much information the survivors are working with and you can make the best decision in any given situation. That being said, there is a large number of killer perks that give off no indication whatsoever that they're there, such as discordance or whispers. No matter what the survivors do, they will never be able to 100% confirm that you're using these perks unless your gameplay really gives it away and you make it really obvious that you have them. The next group of perks are also quiet. They don't give off any on-screen indication to survivors, but if they are perceptive and they pay attention, they can actually figure out that you're using them. For things like Brutal Strength, they'll notice that you break pallets quicker. For Pop Goes the Weasel, they'll notice that there's more smoke on a generator when you kick it. For things like Nurse's Calling, they might notice that you're catching them heal often, or they might have a perk like Distortion that warns them that their aura is being read, and so on. And then we've got the typical perks that debuff survivors in some way, and these usually show an indication on screen when they are active. For things like Mindbreaker, they'll get this indication while they're working on a gen and they get exhausted. For things like Remember Me, they'll get this indication when they're on an exegate and they're not the obsession and they're being affected by it. For Unnerving Presence, it will only show while they're inside the terror radius while doing something that is affected by Unnerving Presence that can do skill checks. For Coulrophobia, it's also the same. It will only show while they're healing inside of the terror radius, so these perks only show up while they're active. Some other perks, like Deadman Switch, only show up once you've been hit by them. This also applies to Sloppy Butcher, Blood Echo, Forced Penance, Franklin's Demise. These perks get revealed to the survivors only after they've been hit by them. Hexburgs are a little bit unique. All of them get revealed in a slightly different way. For Undying, for example, for it to show and curse you, you need to walk by a dull totem, and then it will show up on your screen like this. For Hunter's Lullaby, it will actually show up and curse you if you hit a skill check, but only after someone has been hooked and this perk has one stack. After it has one stack, then it will show up. To know the hunt is a lot simpler, it will show up anytime you work on any totem. And don't forget that if it's a lit totem, this will warn the killer, so you can use this to maybe create a distraction or at least be aware that the killer might be coming to you. For Ruin, I'm sure you all know, you'll let go of a generator while no one else is on it, and if it begins to regress, it will show up and curse you. For Retribution, it's actually really interesting. If you cleanse another hex perk other than Retribution, it will show up and warn you about it and curse you. But if you cleanse Retribution itself, it will actually not warn you whatsoever while the killer can still see your aura, so be very careful about Retribution. Stepping into the one-shot perks, Hunt the Ground is very simple. If you or someone else does this, you'll get a 60-second exposed. Other perks that also expose you work in a similar way. Make Your Choice will make you bleed and scream, so it's very easy to tell if someone that rescues you is affected by it, and you'll be exposed for 60 seconds. And with Dragon's Grip, it's almost the same. You touch a gen, you scream, and you're exposed for 60 seconds. Rancor, you can notice if you're the obsession when you do gens that you'll see the aura of the killer. But even if you miss it, at the end of the game, when the last gen is done, if you're the obsession, you will get this indication and this warning that you are indeed in danger. So usually the obsession will use this information to hide really well. And then we get to No One Escapes Dead or Know It. This perk will only show up if the killer performs a basic attack on you and reveals it. If they grab you in any way, or if they use their special attack, any of them, that will actually not trigger No One Escapes Death. It will not show up for anyone. With Devour Hope, you would think that it would be the same, but it's actually not. Once Devour Hope has hit 3 stacks, and it actually begins to insta-down people, any basic or special attack will actually reveal Devour Hope, even range attacks from things like Hunters or Pyramid Head, which is really crazy. So you cannot hide Devour Hope other than by grabbing people. The one exception, however, is the Plague. The Plague, for some reason, her special attack, her Red Pew, can actually down people and it does not warn you about Devour Hope. So also remember that and try not to misuse it. And with that, we conclude this video and hopefully you've learned a thing or two. Thank you so much for watching.